好，那欢迎线上的同学参加目前今天第2场下半场的德国留学的斯图加特大学。那我们知道斯图加特大学是在德国巴登的首府，那这是一所高等的著名国立大学，那也是世界很著名的理工科大学哦。那它是德国历史最悠久的一所技术大学之一。那有一个联盟成员叫 TU9，它是德国这个联盟成员之一，包含德国欧洲顶尖的工业的管理的学校联盟成员。那它是在1829年创立了这个技术工业学校，那也获得了很多的奖项，那也获得了很多政府的预算，包含每年有9亿欧元的预算跟社会赞助4亿多欧的一个获得全德国第一的研究经费。那在2015年 QS 世界排名的30个专业中呢，斯图加特大学有10个专业进入世界的前200名，那包含了机械工程、土木工程、电气工程、材料科学、化学工程、电脑科学、数学化学、语言、物理、天文等等哦。那其中像是机械工程、土木工程、电气工程、材料都进入了世界的前100名，是非常的名列前茅。那也位居于在这个机械工程呢，也是世界第42名，然后德国第3名哦。所以那接下来就是由我们的 Wolfgang 学校代表来分享对于学校今天的不管是如何申请，那学校的介绍，还有一些校园的生活。那待会大家如果有相关的问题也不要客气也可以用中文或者英文的方式在我们下面的 Q&A 留言，我们待会会有 Wolfgang 来做介绍。Okay, thank you. I have just showed the introduction, and please let's welcome Wolfgang. Now the floor is over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack, very much for your introduction to the Stuttgart presentation of the European at the European Education Fair in Taiwan. We hope to be back this fall in person, but for now, in February 2023, we will talk virtually. And that has worked very well in the past years as well. And we're looking forward to your responses and also to your questions, most of all, right after I will have introduced some aspects about the University of Stuttgart. I think I may speak a little slower now for technical reasons. Let's see how you react, and Jack will monitor and let me know if anything comes up. I hope that some of you may have been to Germany already, perhaps even to Stuttgart as well. That would be great. If not, I'll be happy to explain more about it. And here is our presentation. I want to keep it in this format because then I can see if pictures from your end coming up as well. My name is Wolfgang. I'm Senior Advisor on International Affairs here at our university in the southwestern part of Germany. I've been working in this position for over 10 years now with the international experience. And before that, I joined the university already in the mid-1990s. My area of teaching is in the humanities, American culture and literature. And then I sort of added the international dimension worldwide to it. So that has brought me to Taiwan a couple of times to talk about the University of Stuttgart experience. And this is what I want to do now. I will share some experiences with you. One would be the history of our city. As you see, Stuttgart is located in the southwestern part of Germany. Berlin, you see up here, you may know best. Munich, I'm sure you have heard about Bavaria, our neighboring state. But this state is called Baden-Württemberg. It is one of the economic strongholds here in Germany. Generally, the southern part of Germany is economically much stronger than the northern part. But together, Germany makes a very strong international performance in economy, as you know. Now, this city, Stuttgart, got its meaning from the Garden of Mayors. In German, the word for mayor is Stute. So there you see the resemblance to Stuttgart already. And Gart sounds a little bit like garden. So Garden of Mayors, that dates back to the 10th century, when the king kept the horses in our valley. Still today, the city is located in a horseshoe shape, coming from one end, and also the train station, you can only leave then the other end. You have to turn around and the trains start then from the other end to leave the city. The cultural highlights that you would experience here and can experience are not only the castles around the city and in the city, new and old, but also the Stuttgart Opera, which has won repeatedly the title Best Opera of the Year, and together with its ballet as well. Now, that was about the past, but also for today. High tech and innovation play a very big role. Stuttgart is home of the head offices and also the manufacturing side, by the way, for many of the so-called global players, Bosch, Daimler, Porsche, IBM. It is the region with the strongest innovation index and also in research and development. As for the university, our timeline goes back to 1829, when the university was founded as a united secondary and vocational school. The idea was at that point to educate more people and make them ready for a changing world at that time, which was industry being added to, or manufacturing being added to agriculture. Then it was a polytechnical school until 1890, when it was named a technical university. Actually, in that decade, many technical universities that you would find in Germany started then, and that had a lot to do with the age of industrialization. Now, in 1900, the right was granted to give out doctoral degrees in engineering and science. After the Second World War, it was titled in 1967 University of Stuttgart, which added the humanities to the technical fields as well. As of today, we have about 24,000 students, and we have 11 faculties and 170 study programs. Now that means bachelor and master programs. And many of our students come from abroad, 20%. For Germany, that is one of the highest numbers that you can get. Normally, it's around 15% or 13%. We are also a member of the TU9 Alliance, which brings together the strong 9 technical universities in Germany, or I should say the strongest of the technical universities. But most of all, we are located at the heart of one of Europe's strongest economic regions. And that has a lot to do with the university, because we get a lot of third-party funding from the companies and their research demands. As I mentioned, we have 20%, about 20% international students. Many come from Asia, more than 2,000, as you see here. The largest group comes from China. We have some international master programs that are taught in English. I will introduce those to you later on. And of course, we have partners throughout the university. Now, a short breath on this end, you may or may not get the sound. We tried it earlier, but for 90 seconds, at least you get the pictures of Stuttgart and the university. So I'd like to play this, even if you cannot hear the sound, and ask for your patience. Enjoy the, however, many pictures. Here's the city center. I have just had my lunch around this area here near the building that I'm pointing to. And now here we go, Stuttgart city center, and then to the other city campus that is just out of the valley.
Okay, what think about it?
Thank you for your attention. You saw the TV tower here in Stuttgart. It is the mother of all TV towers in the world that have a cafe on the top. So that model was invented here and built in 1956. That brings us a little bit to the business experience. Also in this area here, the car was invented in 1886. Now, the one big breakthrough, however, happened in the United States, as you know. In 1908, the Model T was introduced in Michigan at Highland Park by Mr. Ford. And if we think back, that really changed the shape of economy, cities, and also of our daily lives. In 1908, the price by today's standard for one car for a Model T was about $27,000. Already a couple of years later, in 1923, it was only $6,700. Now, what had happened that suddenly you had such a drop in the price? Well, the engineers did some learning by doing, experience. They learned which parts worked and which didn't. They improved the car. Over time, it became more affordable. The first Model T cars were expensive. But what I want to say is that engineering experience made sure that it got better, safer, and step by step became more affordable. Why do I mention this? I guess because today universities are in the experience business. Still, the challenges are big. Climate change, global carbon emissions, mobility, advanced technologies. At our university, these areas, electric vehicles, production of the future, energy storage, and quantum computers are big areas. And they offer, of course, opportunities for investment in infrastructure and in research alike. So business experience is definitely closely linked to university, and only together will it be possible to achieve the change that our world in economic and mobility standards, climate standards is looking for. On what basis do we do this? I call this shaping experience. Let's look at the vision, the mission, the profile areas, emerging fields, and 2 clusters of excellence here at the university. Now, please look at the second paragraph. What we call the Stuttgart way means that we foster very much the collaboration of contemporary disciplines, asking professors, asking students to work in an interdisciplinary way in research and teaching wherever possible. We call this the Stuttgart way. And our research areas in particular, where we are particularly strong, is architecture, digital humanities, which would be linguistics in particular, production technology, quantum science, as mentioned before, and simulation science. And upcoming fields that we look at are autonomous systems and biomed systems. We have two clusters of excellence here in Germany. They get a special funding from the federal government in Berlin. And that means in the field of simulation technology. Here it is a lot about how simulations can enhance actually the usability of the products that are designed. And when researchers design these together with the colleagues from the companies to make the outcome more reliable. The other one regards architecture, in this case in particular, the design and construction for architecture. So we want to use the full potential of digital humanities. The building, the tower you see here, was built exclusively by computers and with new materials as well. And you already see computers, new materials, interdisciplinary link here. As you may have heard, 40% of the CO2 emission in the world is due to construction. We have to change how we build these days in our world. And here is one way to test and to rethink the design and construction of buildings. Let me talk a little bit in the next 3 slides about performance and awards and our experience with those. Well, in the QS World University ranking, the worldwide one, we ranked 47 when it came to the mechanical and manufactural and our aeronautical engineering. In architecture, we are among the top 50 to 100 universities worldwide. In chemical engineering, among the 100 to 150, and in civil and structural engineering likewise. When it comes to subject in Germany, architecture is ranked number 4. Mechanical, aeronautical, manufacturing engineering also. Chemical engineering, number 5. Civil, structural engineering likewise. And electrical engineering and electronic engineering ranked number 7. The global ranking of academic subjects in the Shanghai ranking shows that mechanical engineering is number 1 in Germany and 44 worldwide. Civil engineering is also number 1 in Germany and 46 worldwide. And automation and control, 3rd in Germany and between the 100 and 150 worldwide. So you see where the strong areas really are. At our university, we don't have agriculture and we don't have medicine other than biomed, and we don't have law. So there are many other universities also around Stuttgart that have that, but we don't. What about the research experience? Let me give you some highlights. In 2027, Stuttgart will host the International Architecture Exhibition. It's a very, very big event, and it will have a number of showcases how to build in the future. For instance, this first adaptive demonstrator high-rise building that will be certainly shown in 2027 and further developed here. And these buildings in the future need to be more sustainable, more resource-friendly, and they will have new materials for the construction. But we also need to change our mobility. Therefore, the ways we go from A to B becomes very, very important. I saw this week actually a documentary about the 15-minute city, meaning to have little clusters in cities. That means that we can, human beings can, within 15 minutes conveniently reach wherever they have to go. So that may be one way, perhaps not everywhere possible, but certainly one way to rethink our present times. Here, we try to bring in new technologies, also transfer them into businesses. And on our campus, together also with the KIT, in a lab that is called mobility of the future. So new ways of transportation, but also new ways of production need to come about. At this hall here called Arena 2036, meaning active research environment for the next generation of automobiles. And that dates back to the year 1886, meaning in 2036, the car will be 150 years old. Here, researchers from the university and their colleagues from the enterprises come together and they work together on site and try to find solutions for this challenging topic. Nothing could be done without the supercomputer power that we have here. This one operated with 26 petaflops. I guess the latest one is already faster. We have also an area here defined in our state in Germany between Stuttgart and Tübingen called Cyber Valley. And yes, the name is of course kind of rings some bells here because of the California Silicon Valley. Now, Cyber Valley is Europe's biggest research collaboration in AI with the University of Stuttgart and Tübingen, with the MPI for Intelligent Systems, our state here that is called Baden-Württemberg. Also, the research application of the Fraunhofer Society, industry partners, and also foundations. Quantum technology was mentioned earlier as a very, very strong area where we work together also with neighboring university in Ulm and the Max Planck Institute for Solid State Research here in Stuttgart. Vegas, to me, always very interesting and important because on our university ground, we have a testing center for subsurface remediation. That means we can test actually methods when it comes to clean, contaminated land and groundwater under realistic site conditions. And all of this, we try to communicate to our partners, that is to our society. Then these are the taxpayers that actually make a lot of things happen. We are a public university, and therefore we want to share with the public how we work and what the results are. Having talked about the research experience, I would now like to talk about the study experience regarding what many of you will find interesting, namely the master's programs and the doctoral degree. Each of the master programs that I have listed here, air quality control, solid waste and wastewater process engineering, computational linguistics, computational mechanics, computer science, electrical engineering, geomatics engineering, information technology, and continued also infrastructure planning, integrated urbanism and sustainable design, integrative technologies and architectural design research, material science, physics, water resource engineering, and management. Now, all of these are in English taught. They are specifically designed for international students. This means that in addition to the services that the international office offers anyway, these courses get special support for study, but also leisure activities. It depends on the course that you choose for, but there are body programs, there are alumni events, there are joint meals, newsletters, excursions, in some cases, assistance in finding an industrial internship. When you go for a Master's of Science, here's the structure. It's a 2-year program, and you would in the first term have basically very well-defined seminars, lectures, and lab work. Those are core modules, but then already in the second term, you can add elective modules and have a mix of core and elective modules. So these are more specialized lectures. In the third term, elective modules take over, so you can decide according to your interests where you want to put the focus. So specialized courses and lab works come up, whereas in the last term, you would write your master thesis in original research by independent handling and analyzing problems. This is what a 2-year master programs roughly looks like in all of those master programs that I just mentioned. International students outside of the European Union pay tuition of about 1,500 euro per semester. In addition, a regular semester contribution of currently about 200 euro comes up, and the living expenses here in Stuttgart amount to about 940 euro per month. Mind you, for the visa application, you will have to demonstrate that you have sufficient finances to cover your living experiences and expenses for 12 months. When it comes to doctoral degree, please, the most important thing is that you yourself have to find a professor who is prepared to supervise your research. That is always the crucial point. You will have to identify that professor and also contact that professor. This is not done centrally. Please check the publications, the conferences, the big names in your area. Check where they are located. Perhaps they are located in Stuttgart. Chances are. So please go for that one. You will then have to need to establish a very direct contact with the professor. So by writing an email, make yourself and introducing yourself the person you are. Imagine they get many emails each day, and you want to stand out. You want the one that they really go for to answer. You can write your dissertation in English, and it then takes about 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years, really, when it comes to completion of the doctoral program. Now, after all the work, we need also some beyond lecture experiences. These could be by joining the racing team and green team. These are teams that exist all over the world at various universities, and they meet and they work and they test and they design and they finance their own races. You see here Australia, Germany, Spain, UK, United States, but I'm just back from India, and at one of the universities also suddenly there was a group saying, yeah, we raced last summer in Germany against your team as well, wherever you go. The green team is electrically powered, and that has been also highly successful. So really for a decade now, our teams have been among the top 10 in the world. Also, we try alternative energy, like when it comes to wind in this case here. But we also, certainly our students are engaged in connecting with refugees. They offer classes, they offer sports groups, they offer mentoring here at our university. And if you are into the arts and choir and orchestra music, well, that can also be done. Regularly, we tour with either the choir or the orchestra to the countries listed here above. In 2018, we actually came to Taipei as well. And last year, after COVID, last September now, we were in Canada and the United States. So all of that is now coming back. If you want to find out what the alumni of our universities have to say about the University of Stuttgart, but also their very personal experiences, why don't you take a moment to check out our official podcast, Made in Science. I have the honor to host a podcast twice a month, and I've been in touch with many, many faculty, students, alumni all over the world. Perhaps one day you could be one of those as well. My name is Wolfgang. You can reach me under the email international@uni-stuttgart.de. My office is at the University City Campus here in Stuttgart, and you see the contact numbers here as well. At this moment, I would like to thank for your attention. I hope it got through. And now I'm very, very happy to answer the questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you again. Very colorful lecture that also programs and very competitive institution of university when it comes to the ranking. And I think I will bring up the question that how long do the terms that you mentioned about for the master MSc program, Master of Science, because there are 4 terms, and how long do they last for each term?
It's always 6 months. So the total is 2 years for those 4 terms. We normally start in October 1st. And then that's the term 1 that goes till end of March. And then April starts the next one. Now, a term doesn't mean 6 months of teaching. It means perhaps 4 months of that. But also it includes writing exams and preparing for exams and doing internships, whatever is required in the structured program. So 2 years, 1 term, 6 months for masters. Bachelors have 3-year program.
3, okay. But when it comes to the internship, do the school offer opportunities to help students find an internship? With maybe it's the CV check or help them do the interview session. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And that is done either with the subject that you study or also at the international office of the university, especially the CV check. But when it comes to the internships itself, companies, and so our professors in the technical fields, they actually, to be hired here, it is a precondition that they have worked in industry. So they have their research connections, professional connections as well.
Wow, I believe students will benefit from the program. Yeah. And there's a student ask, is it possible for a bachelor student who study in management information system to apply for the master program in computer science and information technology?
Okay, we have a good example here. I may want to call up another or a brochure. I think it is also available in the among the material that I had sent ahead and that you can find on the website. But here we go. The example was computer science. Did you say computer science as the example? Computer science. Let's take this one here, right? Any question that you may have to one of the programs in English, the master programs in English, you can check out the study programs information. And here you see the email and also the website for each of the programs. And you also see how big the group size is. So not that many really, when it starts, etc. But I would recommend contact the course director under this email here. Once again, the brochure is available. I've uploaded it in the information package for the University of Stuttgart.
Thank you very much. If the student contact us for the materials, is it possible to provide the brochure you just show us?
Yeah, it is. But I think it should also be, however, in the material that we sent in preparation to you, to organizers. So it should be available. But if you need it again, let me know at international@uni-stuttgart.de, and we have the electronic version I can send to you.
Okay, thank you. And there's a student comes to the he asks, he want to know level of German. What's the level of German he should reach if he want to study in the university? and the program is interested in aeronautics engineering.
Yeah. Again, I will call up the respective. That's the easiest way, so you see it best and can read it as well. Just a sec.
Yeah, okay. Because their question is very specific. I think they're interesting.
It's specific, but also a question that many may have. All bachelor programs, mostly at German universities, are in German. So for that, of course, you need that kind of information. And the masters that I showed earlier, they are in English, so there is a good chance. But for the others, I think employment. No, we had it up before. Just a moment. Here, language proficiency test and language preparation.
Okay, so
all international degree students must have a command of the German language unless they apply for an international master's program. Your proficiency can be demonstrated by passing one of the following. Either the test type. In that you would need to score 4 in all 4 parts of the test. And this really is equivalent to a B2 or C1. So when you apply, it needs to be a B2. And when you then come here, you can expand on that and do a C1. But you need this in as well, or the assessment exam, or the diploma, the language diploma of the Conference of Culture Ministers called DSD2. Or you may be attending a German school, an international school where German is also taught, and the exam is also recognized here in Stuttgart. This one is the ZOP is offered by the Goethe Institute, which you have in Taipei. I've been to the offices. What we don't accept is the DSH exam here in Stuttgart. So that is something, basically the only one we don't exam. But you are aiming for a B2, C1, something like that.
Thank you very much for the answer. It's mandatory actually for the level of at least B2. Yeah. There's a student ask, do I have a higher chance of getting the admission if I hand in the application materials earlier?
Not necessarily. There is a deadline, and they will all be processed and then compared. So no, the timing of handing in is not an issue.
And when will be the deadline?
For bachelor programs that start in October, it is July 15. But for the international ones, the masters, again, example here would be architectural design. You see deadline February 15. So that means they accept only once a year. Next year, February, in a year's time, that would be 2024, for beginning to studies in 2024 October. And they all differ a little bit. The one with computer we looked at earlier, I think they had 2 deadlines. Here, for instance, this one, geomatics, they have it March 15. For this year, it's still possible to apply. For this one is electrical engineering, they already have it in January. So it differs. You would really have to check with the respective program that you want to go for. This one, computer science, for instance, had January 15 for beginning in April, and those who want to start in October would be July 15. Please check with that. But for bachelor, it's always July 15.
Okay, it's easier for bachelor.
Yeah, more general.
Okay.
But coming from abroad, I mean, you would need to provide all the information. There, I would start as early as possible with collecting the info. And you can definitely write all questions regarding this to an address here at the university that is admissionsoffice@uni-stuttgart.de. Admissions office at uni-stuttgart.de.
Yes, they work. For 在线上的学生，如果有兴趣的话，可以联络这个 email. I have told them to contact you from the email. Yeah, and there's a student who is very interested in the course, and he said in the Master of Mechanical Engineering website, he saw there's a requirement of course module. How come the admission committee identified the course he has taken in Taiwan matched the requirement by identifying the name of the course or the content?
Yeah, the content. Definitely more the content than the name. And mind you, I told you, I mentioned, we have 20% foreign students, and we have a good number also from Taiwan, by the way. So the admission office and the respective subject also have experience in evaluating.
And he also continued asking if he applies for the master program taught in German, and will the deadline be the same with the international program?
No, that's then for the July 15.
Okay, follows the
for the German programs, for the programs taught in German. Yeah.
Okay, and the next one goes to if my bachelor degree was taught in English, do I still have to provide an English ability certificate?
Yes, you would still have to do that. Yeah.
And
then again, it's specified on the website of each of the master programs, what exactly it would be, how many points, whether it's TOEFL or something else, they accept there.
Okay, thank you. And I think that goes to the last one. Can I find a structural program for PhD on the Stuttgart homepage, or it will be posted on the job site submitted by professor?
It is only for the, as I mentioned, for the professors or for the doctoral students. You need to first contact the professor. There are some doctoral schools, but not that many actually that we have. We have graduate schools in simulation technology, in advanced manufacturing, for instance, in environment, water, in intelligent methods for test and reliability, in efficient use of energy. Now, these are doctoral, the graduate schools, research training groups, and doctoral programs. Again, go to university website, University of Stuttgart, type in then graduate schools, and then you will find if there is one in your area. Again, though, my suggestion, write to the professor, identify a professor. You may have read an article that got you into the field and directed you perhaps, got your interest on our university.
Appreciate for the answer. And that's all the questions from today's students. Thanks again, Wolfgang, for the very rich lecture and all the answering. We would have anyone to add?
My pleasure. Thank you for having given me the chance also not to present only, but also to be there for the Q&A. And if there are questions, again, my email is international@uni-stuttgart.de. You can write to me. I will be traveling tomorrow to the US, but you know, I'm reading my emails. You may receive I'm out of office note or so, and I will be busy there as well, but I try to catch up when I get a chance. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you. Come stop by at our booth in the fall. I hear in November will be the next face-to-face European education fair in Taipei.
Yes, I believe students would love to come after the 3 years. Thank you very much again.
Likewise here.
Hope everything goes well with your trip to US.
Thank
See you in November.
See you. Auf Wiedersehen. Auf Wiedersehen from Stuttgart to everyone. And
Yeah.
thank you very much, Jack.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
好，那在线上同学也谢谢大家今天参与2场的 session 哦。那我们在今天的讲座结束之后，明天会是迎来我们这个 Starting Talk 线上讲座最后一场是在瑞士的瑞士教育集团会有饭店管理大学做我们这个 program 最后一场。那也欢迎对瑞士留学，尤其是饭店管理的同学或是家长，明天持续在7点钟到8点半的时间参与我们的 Study Talk。那今天再次谢谢大家的参与。那如果后续有问题的话，都可以 follow 我们的脸书或者官网的最新动态，有问题可以私讯我们。谢谢大家，谢谢。不好意思，我刚刚有看到有位同学有问我说，刚刚的文件要怎么取得哦？如果要文件的话，你再email 给我们或是私讯我们的脸书欧洲教育展。那可以说你想要哪一个学校的什么样的文件，我们会再提供给你，或者是我们也会提供同时给你学校的email， 那你可以直接联系学校也可以。再麻烦你私讯我们，谢谢。那祝大家晚安，拜拜。